Hi, and I'm Mooskaan Baxi, and welcome to Kids and Entrepreneurship. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the happiest places on earth, Disneyworld. I'm here with my guest and my dad, Minesh Baxi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mooskaan. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad for your show as well. And we're going to talk about the happiest place on the earth.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Amazing, amazing. So we got a lot of fun stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been to Disney World a few times. So first of all, I think we should talk about why should people go to Disney World? Now, again, most people have an answer for it. But from your perspective, before you went to Disney World, what was your perspective about why should you go to Disney World?
Before I went to Disney World, I went when I was very young. And I didn't really have... I remember when I was really young and going, the only thing I could think about was, like, the Disney princesses. So that definitely drew me in. I don't think I met that many, but I think just being in the presence, knowing that they're there, was very exciting to 3-year-old me. And then when I got older, I just really loved thrill-seeking and anything that moved, because I really wanted to do more active stuff. And I was like 13, so I can't drive a car, so the next best thing is a carousel.
And it was fun for you.
It was a lot of fun. It was great.
Fantastic. So you were 3 years old or almost 3 years old when you went the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time, I think I remember...
I think it was 12. Yeah,
you were 12.
Specifically.
You were 12 years old. And obviously, it was an interesting decision on our part to stay there for a while. So what are our viewers going to get today? What will our audience learn today, in your opinion?
I think, there's a ton of people who have been to Disney World and shared their tips and secrets. So this is just our version, a little bit of a different perspective.
Okay.
Because I think we've done it a different kind of time than just going for the 7 days and leaving. I think we did it a little bit differently.
Do you want to share a little bit about what was different about our trip compared to maybe the other people who go on a trip like this?
Yeah, usually when you think of Disney World going on vacation, you think of a great action-packed 7-day where you just go with your family. We kind of did it a little bit differently. We went to Florida. We were not originally from Florida. We're from Michigan. We head down to Florida for like 3-4 months. Usually we'll start off the day doing our work, homework, etc. And then around 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll head out to Disney World, do a few rides, come back home, and do that every day for, I think the first time we did for 90 days straight. So.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of days, and most people won't relate to that. So our plans were a little different. So most people, when they go for a 7-day trip like that, they are running hard, aren't they?
They really are.
And if they have young kids, I know some of the things I have seen there as well. So I think let's talk a little bit about what are some of the fun things that you did at Disney World from your perspective, and hence based on that, what are some of the tips you would have? So talk a little bit about what was fun for you as a 12, 13, and obviously we kept doing it for a few years. So what was fun for a preteen and a teen?
I liked the more adventurous roller coasters and stuff, and you don't really get that many at Disney. You technically get 2, which would be Expedition Everest and Animal Kingdom, and then is it Rock and Roller Coaster? Yeah, at in Aerosmith at Hollywood Studios. So definitely.
So you don't count Space Mountain, you don't count the other ones?
Really, because Space Mountain's just very bumpy.
Yes, so it is bumpy.
Because like Expedition Everest, Aerosmith, they're both like decently smooth, and you go like upside down and you'll go backwards. But Space Mountain, you just go fast and bumpy.
Yeah, it's very bumpy.
It's really bumpy.
I think it's an old ride, and maybe they need to fine-tune the ride a little bit more.
They fine-tuned it recently. Like, I think last time they did it, I think they had a renovation like 5-10 years ago.
Okay, so what else was fun for you? So obviously those roller coasters were fun. What else?
Disney has great shows.
So tell us a little bit about the shows you liked.
So when you first think of Disney, you would definitely think of like the rides, but their shows are really good. They put a lot of attention to detail. My favorite show is Beauty and the Beast at Hollywood Studios. It's 30 minutes. It's basically just the songs, but their sets are so nice and their costumes are really nice too, which is like really nice because it's only 30 minutes. It's a very small stage, but they really pull it off.
I agree with you. Beauty and Beast is phenomenal. I loved the actors, the singers, and the way they put on the show in a very short time, completing the story.
Yeah.
And really all the, in terms of the action that they duplicate there, it was very impressive for me.
It's really good. All of the Hollywood studios, all the shows there are really good. Frozen's really fun. They have it's a sing along, and then they have two comedians, hosts, giving you some commentary, and they're always up to date on like pop culture and stuff on the in now. So it's very fun and entertaining if you are updated at all in general pop culture. That's really fun. If you like action, Indiana Jones is a great show.
Indiana Jones is one of my favorite. And they make it so real.
You can feel
And if you're
it.
sitting in the front row, which we have done a few times, I mean, it is incredible. I mean, it's just amazing, captivating action. And, you know, as a guy in action movies and stuff, I really had a lot of blast. At the blast! There had a lot of bombs, explosives. And it was a lot of fun as well. One of the rides which I'm so sorry to lose, and you know the ride I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie Stories was just so much fun for me to... What was it? The Greatest Ride? What was it?
The Great Movie Ride.
The Great Movie Ride.
Yep.
So the Great Movie Ride was so much fun for me. About 20 minutes, I think, right?
21 minutes.
About 21 minutes. You are accurate.
Very
so about
specific.
21 minutes it took from the start of Disney, all the movies, to the latest movies from whatever they had. And I think they made it so real. Some of the scenes were very close to being like fantastic from a movie, but they actually have the animation there. So the animation looks pretty fun. I liked the one which I remembered a lot was... Dorothy, Kansas. Which movie is that? Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
Wizard of Oz is one of the most real animations there, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, the witch.
Yes.
What's she called? The Witch of the West, I think she is.
Yes, the Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh yeah, the Wicked Witch of the West. Her animatronic is amazing, especially if you know the time. I think they built it. I don't know the specific time. I think the 80s. I think whenever the park opened.
Okay.
I think that was like 90s or something, or I don't know. It was late. It was old. It's at least like over a decade and a half, maybe two. I don't know the specific day or anything, but it's very impressive when you think about how old the animatronic really is, how impressive it was for the time they put it out, and how it still works really well now. So they really put all their effort into animatronics. May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace because it's gone. Now let's talk about each park and see which are top 2-3 things you or I like to do. So let's start with Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom.
So what are a couple of things that come to your mind that you say are a lot of fun, people would enjoy, and may go back and back again and again? So Space Mountain is very popular, right?
Space Mountain's really popular.
I know
it's not my favorite, but I like it.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is very popular.
That's very
Again,
popular.
not exactly my favorite either. It's very for very young children, I think.
Yeah, it's good for those small kids who think they can take on the really big roller coasters.
Correct.
Or it's just good for kids in general that like a little bit more adventure, but they're not crazy. So I think it's a fun ride, especially if your kid likes Snow White. It's a fun ride because they go through the mine, and they have I don't think they have Snow White in the mine. They have just the dwarves, but I love that part. It's very nice. It's very pretty.
I don't like roller coasters. You know my story. But Snow White and Seven Dwarfs is an easy one. Now I can go to pretty much most of the roller coasters which are around. But at the time when we started, I was not really interested in going to a lot of roller coaster rides. So let's talk a little bit more about Magic Kingdom quickly. I think the shows are really good, like you talked about. But one of the things is obviously they have parades.
Yeah, their parades,
are
great.
beautiful. The fireworks are really beautiful. But obviously it gets pretty crowded at the fireworks. And if you are trying to leave the park after the fireworks, it is a long line. It is
a long way. My one tip is if you want to watch the fireworks, because I know if you only have like one day in Magic Kingdom, you do want to see the fireworks. They are really, really great. And you know it's been a long day. You just want to head home. My favorite part of viewing is at the entrance, once you enter, there's the train station. Go all the way to the top of the train station. You can see wonderful from there because it's all the way up high. There's no heads in front of you, and anywhere on that balcony is usually a good view.
I agree with you. We did that obviously a few times as well. I like the which one is that on the Liberty, and which is the other one, Adventureland? Which one is the one? Frontierland?
What are you talking about?
Which are the rides there? There is the one with the west or the desert. I'm trying to remember the name here.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is good one. They have the next one is the water one. Which is that one?
Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain is fun as well. I think it's... None of those are very scary rides. They're fun rides, but they're not scary rides.
Splash Mountain freaks me out.
Splash Mountain freaks you out. You don't like the water
I don't
one.
like the dark. I don't like water. And I don't like animatronics in the dark while I'm in water.
Okay, well,
So
now we know about that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else in Magic Kingdom we should tell people about?
I like if you're there, you have like a spare half hour or something, or you just want to be indoors, you just kind of want to sit down, go to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. That's fun.
Yeah.
Like
good jokes and stuff.
The humor might be a little bit corny, but I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's funny.
I enjoyed it too.
It's very interactive.
Now, one thing which about Magic Kingdom we didn't really like is the time it takes to get in there. You have to park, then you have to catch a ferry or a train and then go there. So if you are going to Magic Kingdom, make sure that you give yourself minimum 30 minutes to really get into the park, not just, hey, I'm at the park, I'll get there easily. Let's talk about a couple of other things. Hollywood Studios is one of my favorites. It's relatively a small park, but has a lot of action in it. They have the the Tower of Terror. So that's fun. Now they have the Toy Story part of it. Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
They have Toy Story Land, which is the new land just open. It's basically submersing yourself into Andy's backyard as you are a toy. It has the Slinky Dog Dash roller coaster, which is very fun. It's a little bit tame. It's one of the tamer rides. It's basically like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's one of the tamer ones. But it is still fun. It's fun to go around. You see like little building blocks and stuff. Like you're a little toy riding on Slinky, which is very fun. They have Alien Swirling Saucers, which I think is honestly a really fun ride. I feel like everyone's like, oh, it's okay. But I think it was great. It was like my favorite ride.
What about Midway Mania?
Midway Mania, yeah, of course. Midway Mania is like my favorite ride out of the parks, out of Hollywood Studios, I should say, because it's action based, so you do what you want to do, and I'm very competitive, so it's very fun for being competitive.
Yes, you can shoot and you can get all these tossing rings and everything else. And some people do really, really well. I know my wife does really well each time. She's pretty much the number one scorer most of the time.
It's usually me and her.
Yes, between the two of you, I'm always the last. I'm number 4. Let's talk a little bit about Animal Kingdom, which has changed a lot since they introduced the Avatar.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom used to be one of those parks where people would skip. But now people don't skip it because of Avatar. And Avatar is a really cool park. I have never watched any of the Avatar films. I literally barely know what it's about. But I really like Flight of Passage, which, warning, it always has at least like a 2 to 3 hour wait. Like, there's no getting around it unless you have a fast pass or something really cool or special. You're going to have to wait a while. But I think the park's great. It's my absolute favorite ride out of all 4 parks is Expedition Everest. That's the most fun ride. I could go on it a million times and it wouldn't change.
Yeah, we've been there so many times, and sometimes at the end of the day, or maybe there's a competing show going on. Huh?
Not anymore. Not since Pandora opened.
Well, actually, you're right. Since Pandora, it has not been that easy. Before Pandora opened, I think we could go back and 5 minutes ride, 5 minutes wait, and 5 minutes wait, and we were able to go through so many times. But obviously,
old Animal Kingdom when they used to close at 7, and then if you go in at 6 and you're in the area, it's usually a 10-minute wait, and sometimes they just let you go through the fast pass line because there's no one going
Which
through.
Which is that bug show?
It's tough to be a bug.
It's tough to be a bug. I love it. I know you don't. There's some fun stuff there. What about the last park we should talk about? Epcot. What is a fun ride there? I like one specifically. I know which one which one I am talking about.
Test Track? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like Epcot. I like the countries.
You like the
because I
countries.
like eating at the countries.
Yes, you like French macaroon. I know that,
I
and a few
know.
other things that you like as well. And so, what else do you want to talk about before we wrap up here today?
I mean, if you are planning to go to the parks and you want to make the most out of it, you should make sure of a lot of things. The kind of weather you're going into, being cautious of that. So, like in the summer, it's not only going to be hot, it's going to be humid. It's going to be very, very humid. And just being aware of that stuff, definitely packing for that stuff, knowing the exact season you want to go in. Sometimes it's better to go in the winter. I think the winter's the best time to go because it's the least humid.
And also, January sometimes is the least crowded as well.
Yeah, January and February are the least crowded. So
Exactly. It's much easier to go there and go through the rides, relatively speaking. And if you know enough about Fast Pass, definitely take advantage of it, because if you don't have Fast Pass, you're going to wait a long time and your journey will not be as much fun. For those who have not known about this, how many times have you been to Disney World, Muskan?
200 times.
200 times. Isn't that crazy? Most people won't believe it. But obviously, if they want to go check out our Facebook post, they can check out our Facebook post and see that we did go. It's just that we use it as entertainment. Like people come home, watch TV at the end of the day. Well, we used to go to Disney. So anyway, anything else you think would be valuable?
No, I think we pretty much wrapped it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day.